It began like any other interview. Soft lights, friendly laughter. The kind of comfortable conversation that fans had seen 100 times before. Sam Heughan, always charming and effortlessly composed, was sitting across from a journalist in Los Angeles, promoting his latest project. Everything was going smoothly, until one question changed everything. The host leaned forward with a grin. "Sam, you and Katrina have worked together for nearly a decade now. You two share such a unique bond. Fans often say your chemistry is unmatched. After all these years, what is the secret behind it?" It was a question he'd answered countless times before. Usually, he'd smile, give a diplomatic answer about trust and respect, and move on. But this time, he hesitated. The pause was long enough to make everyone in the room shift slightly in their seats. Sam's smile faded into something softer, more vulnerable. "You know," he said slowly, "it's hard to explain. What Katrina and I have, it's deeper than friendship. It always has been." The host blinked, surprised. "Deeper? What do you mean?" Sam exhaled, his voice almost a whisper. I think we've always shared something that goes beyond work, beyond the screen. And maybe it's time I admit that." The room went silent. The producer's jaw dropped. The cameras kept rolling, capturing every heartbeat of that confession. Sam looked down briefly, as if realizing what he had just said, but when he looked back up, there was no regret in his eyes, only honesty. "I'll always care for her more than anyone knows," he said softly. "That's just the truth." The interview ended moments later, but it didn't matter. The story was already out. Within an hour, clips from the show began circulating online. By sunset, the internet had completely lost its mind. Twitter exploded. "He finally said it. Sam loves Katrina," loudly crying revolving hearts. 10 years of rumors, and now this. "I'm shaking." He said it so calmly, like it's been on his heart forever. By midnight, hashtags like #SamHeughanConfession and #SamLovesCaitriona were trending in over 20 countries. News outlets called it the confession that broke the internet. But this wasn't a random viral clip. This was something that had been building for years. Since 2014, Sam and Katrina had been the beating heart of Outlander. Their on-screen chemistry as Jamie and Claire Fraser had transcended fiction, leading millions to believe their connection was real. Every glance, every touch, every unscripted laugh between takes only fueled the belief that there was something more. They had always denied it, of course, smiling politely, calling each other best friends, insisting they were just colleagues. But fans could see it. You can't fake that kind of warmth. You can't rehearse that kind of soul connection. And now, suddenly, after nearly a decade of silence, Sam had broken the unspoken rule. He'd admitted what the world had always suspected. By morning, every major entertainment outlet had picked up the story. Headlines screamed. Sam Heughan opens his heart, admits deep feelings for co-star Caitriona Balfe. It's deeper than friendship, the confession fans waited 10 years for. Interview clips played on repeat across TV and social media. Analysts dissected his every word, his tone, even the way his hands trembled slightly as he spoke. "That wasn't PR," one commentator said. "That was emotion." Meanwhile, Caitriona Balfe's name began trending too, though she hadn't yet said a word. Paparazzi followed her car. Reporters waited outside her home, desperate for a response. Would she acknowledge his confession? Would she stay silent? But for fans, the reaction was already clear. "We've seen this love for years," one fan wrote. "They don't need to confirm it, we feel it." Behind the scenes, sources close to the pair claimed Katrina had been just as shocked as the rest of the world. "She didn't know he was going to say that," one insider said. But she wasn't angry, she was emotional. It's complicated for both of them. Complicated, yes, because Katrina was married, and Sam had always respected those boundaries publicly. But to those who knew them best, it was never about crossing lines. It was about acknowledging something pure, something real, something that had quietly existed between them since the very first day they met. In one of the most replayed clips from the interview, after making his confession, Sam looked into the camera and said, "Some people come into your life and change it forever. Katrina did that for me." That single line became iconic overnight. Fans turned it into art, sound edits, and emotional tributes. TikTok was filled with tears and heart emojis. "He didn't just say it," one comment read. "He felt it." For years, people had guessed. Now, they knew. And while Hollywood rushed to analyze the headline, everyone waited for one thing: Katrina's response. Because if Sam had confessed his heart so openly, what would she say next? When the clip of Sam's confession hit the internet, Caitriona Balfe was thousands of miles away, on location, filming in Dublin. She hadn't seen the full interview yet when her phone began buzzing relentlessly. Messages from friends, colleagues, even journalists flooded in. "Have you seen it? Sam said what? You might want to watch this." She finally clicked on the video. For a long moment, she just sat in silence, watching his face fill the screen. The familiar gentleness in his eyes, the slight tremor in his voice. "We've always shared something deeper than friendship, and maybe it's time to admit it." Her breath caught. The words hit harder than she expected. According to someone close to her, Katrina replayed the clip several times. "She didn't cry," the source said. "She just smiled, the kind of smile that says, 'I always knew.'" But the world didn't wait for her private reflection. By sunrise, reporters were camping outside her hotel, microphones thrust toward her whenever she appeared. "Katrina, do you have a response to Sam Heughan's confession? Did you know he felt that way?" For 2 days, she stayed silent, graceful as always, refusing to add fuel to the fire. Yet her silence only made the speculation grow louder. Fans flooded her Instagram with comments. "Please say something, Katrina. We're crying over here. Just tell us it's true." Then, on the third day, she finally spoke. It happened during a press junket for her film. A journalist, nervously clutching a microphone, asked the question the world had been waiting for. "Katrina, Sam said something very heartfelt about you recently. How did it make you feel?" There was a pause. Katrina smiled softly, that calm, steady smile that had always set her apart. "Sam and I have been through so much together," she said. "You can't share 10 years of your life, your work, your laughter, without it leaving a mark." What he said was very honest. And very Sam. The reporter pressed gently, "Do you feel the same way?" Katrina laughed quietly, shaking her head. "I think what we share doesn't need a label. It's love, in its own form. We'll always have that, whatever life looks like." That answer was all it took. Within minutes, her words went viral. Fans around the world melted. "She didn't deny it," one comment screamed. "This is the most mature love story ever." Clips of her interview were paired with Sam's confession, creating one of the most emotional montages the fandom had ever seen. Two people, two hearts, finally speaking truths they'd kept hidden behind years of professionalism. Behind the scenes, however, things were even more tender. According to production insiders, Sam and Katrina spoke privately the night after her interview aired. The call lasted hours. She told him, "You blindsided me," the insider revealed, but she was laughing when she said it. He apologized, said he hadn't planned to speak, it just came out. She told him it was brave, and that she was proud of him. By the end of the call, both were reportedly in tears. "Whatever happens next," Katrina said softly, "you'll always be one of the most important people in my life." Sam replied, "You already are mine." That private exchange remained secret until a crew member leaked details weeks later, not maliciously, but because, as they put it, it was too beautiful not to share. From then on, their dynamic changed in subtle ways. At the next event they attended together, a charity gala in London, the tension was electric. Cameras flashed as they entered the venue side by side, Katrina in an elegant black gown, Sam in a classic tuxedo. They looked radiant, relaxed, almost glowing. At one point, when a reporter shouted, "Sam, any regrets about what you said?" he smiled, glanced at Katrina, and answered simply, "None." She looked up at him, eyes glimmering, and said softly, "Neither do I." That clip broke the internet all over again. They just confirmed it, fans screamed online. This is the love story of a generation. Entertainment magazines ran headlines like, Sam Heughan and Caitriona Balfe, the confession heard around the world. Not a romance. Not just friendship. Something unspoken, yet undeniable. Even celebrity peers chimed in. Jamie Dornan commented jokingly on Instagram, "About time you two admitted it," followed by a wink emoji. But what made the story unforgettable wasn't scandal, it was sincerity. Sam's confession hadn't been about headlines or hype. It was about truth, the quiet, enduring kind of affection that doesn't fade with time or distance. Weeks later, during a heartfelt podcast appearance, Sam reflected on the whirlwind that followed his statement. "People always think love has to fit a definition," he said. "But sometimes, it's just connection, pure and simple. Katrina and I will always have that. She's family. She's home." His voice softened as he added, "I don't know if I'll ever find that kind of bond again, and that's okay. Because once is enough." That line became legendary. Fans quoted it endlessly, pairing it with scenes of Jamie and Claire, with slow piano music underneath. In the end, neither Sam nor Katrina confirmed whether they were ever together. They didn't have to. Their eyes said everything their words couldn't. Because in a world obsessed with gossip, they gave something rarer: truth without labels, love without boundaries. And as one fan perfectly wrote under Sam's final post about the moment, he didn't confess for attention. He confessed because after 10 years of love, silence was no longer honest. Some stories don't need endings. They just live in the spaces between two people who understand each other completely. And for Sam Heughan and Caitriona Balfe, that story will never fade.